Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to some audiences. Your discretion is advised.
Hey fans, welcome back. It's almost the end of the year. It is time for Wrestling POV Global. It's our end of the year. We're going to talk some stuff. I'm your host, TJ Logan. With me, my co-host, the gentleman of the hour, Elio Canellis. I'm sorry, I keep calling him the gentleman. If you listen to these podcasts, you'll see why. He'll take my abuse with a smile, and that's the Canadian way, folks. If you're wondering, we're both Canadians, and I can only be so much, and he can only take so much too. So, Elio, end of the year. What do you think, brother?
Yes.
It's been a good year for wrestling.
It's been a good year for wrestling. A lot of good indie wrestling out there.
Well, you know what? I'm so glad that you've joined the show, and we've been having a great time. We've been looking at some quality stuff. You've been showing me stuff. I've been showing you stuff. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to show the fans out there some of the great stuff. Well, it is the end of the year, so we decided to make a special episode here where we're just going to talk, because there's not a lot of wrestling going on right now, except for Wrestle Kingdom coming up. ROH is on a bit of a break. MLW is on a bit of a break. Everyone's kind of on a break except for maybe NXT UK, which we are going to try and cover in the new year.
Yep.
And so you know what? Before we get into talking about our lists and talking about this year in wrestling, I was trying to see if there was any news. The only news that I could pull out this week was a guy leaving a company, ROH, losing BJ Whitmer, one of the guys who's been there since the beginning, leaving, and from what I understand, bad grapes. He is not happy. Apparently, the rumor going around was that he was asked to join NXT for a week as a guest trainer. Mm-hmm. ROH stepped forward and told him they would not allow him to do this. He took this as very disrespectful from them, told them so, gave his notice, and quit.
Wow.
So BJ Whitmer, man, he's been with ROH since almost the beginning. It's a long time to be with the company. It's kind of a sad state of affairs, but let's see where that takes us down the road. Let's hope we haven't heard the last of BJ Whitmer. So, all right, fans, it sounds like there is a drum roll going on. You know what that means, Elio? It's time for us to talk about our 5 best wrestlers of the year.
Yep.
Then we'll go into our 5 bottom of the barrel wrestlers. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to talk about a couple wrestlers we think or hope are going to have a very strong year. And then we're going to talk about one woman wrestler each in the indies that we want to see more of or that we think is going to have a strong year.
Okay.
So first of all, we'll go back and forth and we'll do our countdown from 5, 4 each way, okay?
Okay.
Ella, you want to start? Who is your 5th best wrestler this year from the indies?
My 5th is a team that I have to retract a statement from a couple of weeks back. I said I wasn't a fan of, but they started growing on me because I saw them when they were first in Impact Wrestling as Generation Me, and then they left the company, and I hadn't heard anything more until I started hearing about these guys, the Young Bucks. And I was wondering what was so special about them. So at first I wasn't seeing it, but then I started watching some of their matches, and one match in particular, Young Bucks against War Machine from last year, and one of the pay-per-views from last year, and so this is a team that started growing on me, so they're my number 5. Best up.
They're your number 5. Does that mean you're going to be throwing a super kick party later?
I might.
My pick for number 5 this year, Tomohiro Ishii of New Japan. The Stone, what do they call him? Stone Pitbull? He may be a shorter man. He's maybe about 5'8", but he is a giant muscle who just hits, and keeps hitting. His matches, I watch them and I think, man, I think I would have permanent bruises and broken bones if I was him. But He has that grit. He gets up there. He's had a really strong year this year. He's always been a strong contender, but this year he's won like the Rev Pro British title. He's been in contention. You know, he had title shots. He's had a pretty good year. He is my pick for number 5 top non-WWE wrestler. Number 4.
Number 4 is a guy that I just saw a couple of weeks back on MLW, and he also had a match against another wrestler, Barrington Hughes, and I was surprised by by how he moves around the ring. And
are you talking Marco Stunt?
No, I'm sure you're mistaken. I'm talking about I'm talking about the guy that beat Marco Stunt, and what a dropkick this guy delivered out of their corner. I'm talking about Ace Romero. He's my number 4.
Oh my. Yes, a 400-pound man giving a dropkick?
Yes.
Woo-hoo! Awesome. Okay, well, my pick for number 4, and I'm not going too far into the New Japan and this might surprise some people, I'm putting Kenny Omega at number 4. I think it was a strong year for Kenny Omega, but not his strongest year. I haven't seen him wrestle as much as I had in the last couple of years. He had some great matches this year, but I don't know. I was a little disappointed in how disrespectful he's been talking about Tanahashi. It seems unwarranted and unneeded. Still, Wrestler of the Year, kind of enjoying it. So Kenny Omega, number 4.
My number 3 is another big guy that can really move around the ring, and I'm going with ROH's Jeff Cobb.
Ooh.
Yep.
Jeff Cobb. And what is it you like about Jeff Cobb?
At Final Battle, he delivered this crazy side slam, power slam, whatever it was, but I'm just surprised how fluently he moves around the ring.
Mm-hmm. Okay. My pick for number 3 this year is a case of a guy who a couple years ago when I first started watching him, I didn't get him. I didn't see it. I didn't think he was going to be all that special. This year, he went into the World Tag League with a partner. He was incredible in there. He went into the G1, showed people that he was actually more than just a tall dude. I'm talking about Hangman Adam Page. I thought he had a tremendous year, and he really proved himself to be a superstar. You know, when I first saw him, I thought he was rather generic. I didn't think he was going to get much out of him. Now, I find that I really enjoy it when I see that Adam Page is going to be the guy on the card. I enjoy his matches. So I'm going to pick him as my number 3 guy of the year. Elio, number 2.
Number 2 is a guy that I first saw at the All In pay-per-view, and with all of his high-flying moves, and I'm going to go with Flip Gordon.
Ooh, Flip Gordon. Interesting pick. There's a guy, he's not on my list this year, fans, but here's a guy that went from I don't get him to, okay, this guy is showing a lot more than just being a flippity dude. Got to admit, though, he's got the kind of a sucky name. I don't know if I'd want to go through my career and want to flip.
Well, there was that entertainer Flip Wilson.
Yeah, that's what came to my mind too. So,
but I have to say also, with that match he had against Bully Ray at Final Battle, that was
came into his own
crazy match.
My number 2 pick, we're definitely going across the internationals here. I'm going to pick Rush from Los Signobles, de Mexico, from the Mexican version of him. He is the leader of that faction. Mm-hmm. He has been an incredibly strong wrestler all year. Now we're finally seeing him up in the U.S. in MLW. He's putting on some tremendous matches. I think he's really had a strong year. Obviously, you really have to follow a lot of indie wrestling to catch him in Mexico City for the promotions down there, but I'm going to pick Rush as number 2.
And my
number 1. Who is your number 1,
Elio? Is Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega. Explain to me why you got Kenny up there.
I've always heard the name. I never saw him until just recently. I've seen his matches, and I like the way he moves around the ring, some of the moves that he executes, and his whole style and his whole moveset.
Excellent. Well, you know what? You picked my number 3, or my number 4 was your number 1.
Yep.
But get this. My number 1, I think, was your number 3 or 4. I'm picking Jeff Cobb as the Wrestler of the Year. What a tremendous mix of speed, power, and finesse. You've talked about how incredibly he moves around fluidly. Yes. It is true, folks. Yep. He throws guys around like they're sacks of potato chips. And I don't mean potatoes. He throws people around like they're potato chips. He's a bit of a soft-spoken guy. I've met him. I've known him for a couple of years. Really nice guy. So glad to see him break out of of the bubble and make it into the top of some of these companies. This is a guy, he's got to be close to 300 pounds, and he does like a standing shooting star press, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So you know what? Those are great picks this year. I love your list, Elliot. Some of the guys you picked, I was like, oh, why did I remember that guy?
Thank you.
Folks, there's some great guys. We'll try. Maybe we'll put them up this week with our when this audio comes up. We'll put that list so you can see who each of us picked, and maybe you want to go out and check out some of these wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here is the tough part, and this may not make us friends or out there, but this is our top 5 picks for wrestlers who either just are horrible, or maybe they've just kind of floundered out. Maybe they're a big name guy who had all the momentum, and now he just kind of, where's this headed? It's our pick for the bottom 5. Number 5, Elio, who are you picking?
Looking at this, I don't know if I want to change my number 5 with my number 1.
Ooh, my goodness. Okay.
Because my number 5, I'm not a big fan of. So you know what? I'm gonna flip them around. I'm gonna move
Sounds
my
good.
number 1. No, number 5.
Who's your number 5?
Number 5 is gonna be Marco Stunt.
Marco Stunt. Why Marco Stunt? What has he done to earn the wrath of Elio?
I just don't get him. Like 5'2". Please, he's up 5'2". I'm 5'2". I'm taller than him. I can beat him.
Okay. Anything else you want to throw about Marco Stunt?
Ace Ferrero threw him around the ring a few weeks ago.
Now, fans, my number 5 pick. Some of you are going to go, wow, that's kind of harsh, or how did he make it? But here's an illustration of a wrestler who I thought was on top of the world last year, but this year has kind of been floundering a bit. And even though he's still part of stuff, I'm not sure where he's going or if he can even recapture that thunder he had. I'm going to go with Marty Scurll. I think the villain has kind of had a slide back this year. The beginning of the year, he was super strong, but it doesn't seem like he's given a lot to us these days. And I don't know if he's going to retain any of that top things. Has the villain's days passed? Possibility. Number 4.
Number 4, I'm going with, and this is not because I don't like this guy's wrestling or whatever, but I'm gonna take Zack Sabre Jr. because when he's getting the crap beaten out of him, some guys don't sell at all. He oversells though.
Okay. Do you want to know what's really funny?
What's that?
My pick for number 4, Zack Sabre Jr. What a douche rag. There's something about this guy that he's the kind of guy like, you meet wrestlers and then sometimes you meet the villains. You go, man, you're so cool. Good job. You enjoy stuff. I want to punch Zack Sabre in the face when we're on the subway. I want to hit him with a stick when he's walking down the street. There's something wrong with that guy.
Well, some of the villains in wrestling can be like some of the nicest guys outside of the ring.
Zack Sabre's a douche. He's a douche.
He's the same both in and out.
I'm going to agree. He seems like he's the biggest douche rag there ever was. I'm glad we agreed on that. Number 3. Let's go with number 3.
Number 3, I put Sami Callihan.
Okay. Do you see the look on my face right now? That's my number 3 pick too, is Sami Callihan. Let's go on the Sami Callihan hate. What's going on there? Why do you hate Sami Callihan?
I don't like him. His whole ring presence, his whole I don't know what we call it, backyard wrestling crap that he does. Just I saw when his match at Bound for Glory or whatever, and it was just total I like Pentagon and Phoenix, but I didn't like him at all.
I'm going to agree. Sami Callihan seems like this fat, angry little man who just, he's not that.
Yeah.
I don't get what people give him a chance because he's not that great. He's not exciting. He has no ring presence. He just seems like another jerk that you don't want to deal with.
I mean, why was he in NXT? Because I remember him in NXT. I saw him
And even then, thankfully we didn't see him very much, and then he asked for his release.
He asked to be released. Okay,
yeah, good, he did. They rarely used him on NXT, and I can see why.
He's got about
he's crap. Yeah, because he sucks. Exactly. Number 3. There's a consensus here. Number 3, Sami Callihan. Okay, number 2.
Number 2 is OVE.
Okay, did we actually talk about this beforehand? Because number 2 for me is OVE. Go ahead, explain why these idiots are on your list.
Well, the first time I heard of Jake Christ and Dave Christ is outside of Impact Wrestling because I'd heard the names in other promotions. I can't think of off the top of my head, but after seeing them in Impact and the crap that they do in the ring, it's just, I don't get it. Just get off my screen. I don't want to see you. I want to see wrestling. I don't want to see what they do. What they do is not wrestling.
No. You know what? Dave Christ looks sort of like the angry barista who couldn't get a job at Starbucks, so he got in and tried to put on some blue jeans and thought he could fight. Yeah. And he had a really white trash brother who probably collected trash as a living named Jay Christ. These guys are terrible. They make Sami Callihan seem like a wrestler. And you know how bad that is you have to be to make Sami Callihan look good? I mean, these guys are, OVE, it's not Ohio versus everything. It should be Idiot Sticks versus everything, because these guys are terrible. I don't want to see them. I want them off my television. I don't want my local promoter to bring them in.
How is Impact Wrestling still have them in there?
Well, that's how to tell you the level of Impact Wrestling these days when OVE is any kind of attraction. Yuck. Ugh. All right, okay. I'm disgusted enough. Let's move on to number one.
My number one? Kenny King.
Oh, I forgot about Kenny King. Good call. I wish he had been on my list. I guess if the list was longer, he would have made it.
This guy, even from Impact Wrestling and then ROH, no, I'm just not a fan of Kenny King. He's got nothing to offer in the ring.
Well, you know what's weird about Kenny King? You could watch 10 matches with him, and then you still wouldn't remember his face if you walked and met him in the ring and he'd be like, "Hey, I'm Kenny King." You'd be like, "Who?" I watched 10 of your matches? You don't look familiar. Kenny King has zero presence. He's like Casper the Friendly Ghost.
I don't even remember his match from Final Battle, although I really do, against Eli Isham. I'm sorry, I know that.
I'm sorry you had to watch that. Yeah, Kenny Kingdom, this is where charisma goes to die. I'm going to have to agree with that. Now, my number one pick, and this shouldn't be a surprise, you know who I'm going to say right now because I didn't put him on my list yet. You already had him on there. Marco Stunt. Okay? When Cheeseburger seems like a credible wrestler because Marco Stunt's in the ring, you know Marco Stunt. I don't get it. People should be arrested for child abuse when they get in there with him because this kid cannot be more than 12 years old. I mean, he's like 5 feet tall. He weighs 100 pounds.
Oh, did you do what I was telling you last week about his theme song? Did you check it out?
You know what? I have not got a chance to do that, but you're right. Tell the folks again what you were saying about that theme song.
So I was on YouTube because I'm like a fan of wrestling themes. I really like the entrance themes. I'm big into music. I play the piano. So when I first saw Marco Stunt come out, I heard his theme song and I couldn't hear it that well. So then the following week I saw him again. So this time I was listening closely and I was trying to figure out what that music was. Then I went on YouTube and I looked it up and I listened to it. Someone actually commented on the video that it sounded like a slowed down version of the closing theme from Sesame Street.
Oh my lord!
I don't know if I was hearing it good because I couldn't tell if it was Sesame Street or the Electric Company. But it's just really bad.
How bad of a year has it been when I can make a list of 5 horrible wrestlers for the year and Cheeseburger isn't even on it?
No.
You know, you've got to... Wow.
What this is, I've heard of this guy who is...
You haven't seen Cheeseburger?
Who is this? I haven't seen him.
Okay, he wrestles for ROH. You know that... Isam, what was that guy you said his name was? Isam?
Eli
the guy
Isham.
Kenny King. Okay, he belongs in a little faction now with him, Cheeseburger, and this other guy. Cheeseburger is a skinny little black guy who's probably, maybe like 5'8", and he weighs maybe 120 pounds. He's skinny as all a beanpole, and he actually supposedly was taught the palm thrust move by I'm drawing a blank here. The guy from New Japan.
I'm sorry.
The guy in the Jushin Thunder Liger. There we go.
Okay.
Liger apparently taught him that amazing palm thrust, and he's been using that. He goes to Japan, and fans love him, probably because he's the size of them. But my challenge for you this week is to go look up Cheeseburger and watch a few of his matches, and you'll see exactly why I make fun of this guy a lot. Okay, but I would watch him 10 times a day instead of watching 10 times Marco Stunt matches or OVE or Sami Callihan.
Or Kenny King.
Or Kenny King. Zack Sabre Jr., I like to watch his matches hoping someone's going to inadvertently punch him in the face. And Marty Scurll, I shouldn't be so mean about, but the fact is he had such strong momentum, and lately I don't see it anymore, and it kind of worries me.
Well,
I really hope he doesn't just disappear.
well, no, and I like Marty Skrull. He's got like that cool look. He's got that cool entrance. Like when I first saw him, he had
Yeah.
that mask.
Yeah,
And he had the umbrella. I'm like, oh, the penguin.
Yeah. Well, you know what those masks are, right? It's supposed to be those masks, those plague masks in the old day.
Yeah, those are Mardi Gras type masks. Yeah.
No, it's a plague mask from back in the days.
Sorry.
Back in the day when they had the plague, and doctors would go out and look through the dead bodies. They wore these big nose cones, so they put things in the end so they wouldn't smell or take in any of the germs.
Oh, okay.
And that's what they were for. So
okay.
that's the industrial look he's kind of looking for. That, you know.
Oh no! When I saw him, I thought the penguin. Cool.
I could see the umbrella, but interesting stuff. Those are our picks for our 5. We'll try and put those up also. Now, I wanted to ask Elio, were there 2 wrestlers out there that he really wanted to see more of this year? Guys who were just maybe on the cusp of breaking out bigger, that he would like to see stronger one. And, you know, as we talked about this, I was going to say 2, but I saw a third one that I'm going to pick 2. And I'll let you start, Elio. Do you got 2 guys that you really want to see break out?
The 2 guys I want to see more of are Jeff Cobb and Ace Romero.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Guys that were already on your list. Yeah. Nice. Ace Romero, what are you liking about this guy?
I don't know. Just like he just has like this cool presence about him, and like his whole like in ring work.
I gotta say, for a guy who's really big, sometimes you see these 400-pound plus guys, and I just think, oh, they just got some fat slob to put on some tights. He is not a fat slob.
Normally, I wouldn't pick like these big guys, but like he's really good. I want to see more of him. And Jeff Cobb, well, like I said, from his match at Final Battle, like I want to see more from that guy with those crazy moves that he was doing in that power slam thing, whatever he did. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, you know what? I think you're going to see a lot of Jeff Cobb this year. I think this is definitely a year he's going to break out even bigger. My picks, now, I get to pick 3 guys.
Okay.
2 of them are pretty linked together.
Okay.
The first one is Eli Drake, okay? I think he has a lot of potential. I think Impact is a terrible place for him. But when he does wrestle, I want to see more of him. He's good.
If you put an O at the end of his name, it's Elio Drake.
Elio Drake. He would be just like you, Elio. You guys could be pen pals. You hear that? Eli Drake, if you're out there, you're looking for a pen pal, the gentleman is here for you. You can talk about OVE, Sami Callihan, and all the things you love about bad wrestling. And being an Impact, you probably get to see a lot of bad wrestling. So you know what? The other 2 guys I'm going to pick today are, they're kind of linked together in some ways, is Davey Boy Smith Jr. And Teddy Hart. Teddy Hart's probably one of the most incredible wrestlers I've seen in years, but he has been his own worst demon, his own worst backer. This year, he's been coming on strong, and I hope to see more of him on this track. Davey Boy Smith Jr., here's a guy, he's amazing. He's 6'8".
Yeah.
He is a legitimate MMA fighter, and I don't know why he just hasn't really burst out as a singles guy. I mean, he has charisma, he has the look, he obviously has the size and strength. I hope this year MLW gives him a better look than some places have. Now, the last thing I want to ask you, and you know, it's been across a lot of wrestling, it's been the year of women's wrestling. There's been some tremendous women. But let's talk some indie women wrestling. Is there any indie women wrestler out there who's really on the top of your mind right now?
I'm going to come up with 2. One is from NXT UK, which I mentioned I've been watching since I was away on holidays. So
I'm gonna guess her initials are TS, but let's see if I'm right.
My first one is ROH Kelly Klein.
Oh, Kelly Klein. Okay.
I want to see more from her. And my NXT UK is one named Nina Samuels.
Oh, I wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Nice. Tell me about Nina Samuels. I don't even know who she is.
She has this this whole unique look, and she's just in the ring. Although she did lose to Toni Storm, and she lost a few of the matches that I've seen, because I have to go and watch the other episodes, because there's a lot more that I want to watch that I still haven't gotten to see. But it's just her in-ring style, and she plays that heel so well.
Okay. I thought you were going to pick Toni Storm. That's why I said TS, so good on you.
I like Toni Storm, but I want to see more from this one.
Okay. Well, you know what? I've seen Kelly Klein live. I've met her. She's a really nice lady. Really good wrestler. Mm-hmm. I thought Final Battle, that was a terrible match where she won the belt.
That wasn't good at all.
That wasn't her best. No. But she is someone I'd like. But who I want to see more of is a lady who I met probably about 4 months ago. I even have an interview with her that we'll put up sometime. Jordan Grace. She is powerful. She's pretty. She is something, man. She's a power lifter amongst power lifters, and I think I want to see a lot more of her in the coming year. And I think Impact is going to give her that chance. Of course, Impact, which we didn't mention. Did you know this, that they are no longer on Pop TV?
Yes,
They're moving
actually,
to
we were talking about that on my show on Friday.
a place. I think it's called Pursuit.
The Pursuit,
HD?
which is an outdoor hunting channel or something. I'm not sure where the connection lies in that.
I don't know, but it's just this is how much further can you go lower?
Like,
I mean,
it's one of these obscure channels I haven't even. I thought
Yeah.
Destination America was a channel I hadn't heard of. This one, I don't think anyone knows what this channel is.
no. Every year it seems like they hit. I thought they hit the bottom of the barrel with Pop TV. Now they've dug under the barrel, and I don't see a lot of good stuff for Impact.
Like, so when did they leave Spike?
Oh my goodness, it's been like what 2-3 years now.
2010, 11 or something like that?
Oh, maybe it's got to be at least 6 or 7 years,
Okay, in that time, they've switched 5 different stations.
and they've all been progressively
And
worse
how is this
each
company
time.
still alive?
Um,
They're like a
Well, you know what?
They're like a cat. They have 9 lives.
you know what, dude? As Canadians, we should be embarrassed that it's a Canadian company that's running them. I think we got suckered somehow here, and I mean, I hate the fact that I really like a lot of people on TNA. I know a lot of people in Impact. Sorry, I shouldn't say
You
TNA.
want
but-
to know how I know a company is really bad? It's when
Hmm.
it's when I really want to go back and watch some Aces of Nades stuff.
Ouch! 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 Okay, I'll give you that. Well, fans, it's been a really strong year for wrestling. The indies just seem to get better and better. MLW starting to come out with some really good stuff. We've been seeing some great things out of them.
Yep.
ROH, solid as ever. New Japan, solid as ever. Impact, well, we've had our ups with them and we've had our downs with them. There's been some great There's been weeks where we've enjoyed the wrestling. There's weeks we want to pull our hairs out.
Like I had this debate with my co-host, and we were arguing about whether Impact will survive, and I was like, he didn't see them surviving. I'm like, I think there's a lot of talent if you look past all the garbage storylines from the 90s, 80s, whatever, all the campy stuff they do. There's a lot of talent in that company if they use them
True.
right.
True. But you know what, Elio? I can say this. If you had a company that had the best employees in the world, they were the best, most awesome guys in the world, but your company sucked at getting out there and sucked at selling the thing you're selling, doesn't matter how good your employees are, that somebody's going to shut the door eventually. I hope that doesn't happen because, like I said, I know a lot of guys at Impact. I'm friends with a lot of people at Impact, and I want them to succeed, but when I turn on some of the shows, it's yuck, man.
Yeah.
Half of the stuff on there is such crap that I can see why they're not surviving.
Like Bound for the Glory, that whole Ali Su Young match,
Oh.
that was terrible.
Well, here, look at that, man. Me and you have an unwritten rule where we won't even talk about that.
Yeah.
That crap. It's just not even worth talking
No.
about. You know, I feel that if we talked about it, it somehow validates it. So we're not going to talk about it.
No.
You know, and surprisingly, the fans who listen to our program, they're happy we don't talk about it because they think the same thing we do.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping next year, at the end of the year, that when we do our lists again, I'm hoping that there's an Impact Wrestling that we can talk about. There'll obviously be an ROH, there'll be an MLW, there'll be a New Japan, but Impact is right on the edge of almost, like we didn't even, there was no way in hell I was going to have us cover their best of show because if all honesty, best of what should be 10 minutes long. I didn't think it was 2 parts.
You want to cover a clip show. You just be repeating stuff you already talked about and covered.
Yeah. So, you know what, fans? It is the end of the year. Me and Elio, I know we hope that you guys have a great year. We hope you come out and check out some of, not just check out the indie wrestling that we tell you about. Check out your local indie wrestling. There are sometimes guys, they're ready to break out to the next level. Elio, how many shows have you gone to this year, do you think? Have you gone to many wrestling shows this year?
I don't really get to go to many shows around here. I seem to be the only wrestling fan. No one here likes wrestling. Like, what's wrong? Like, my cousin took me to a couple of, but he only took me to WB shows. But even he's not as big of a fan. So yeah, I haven't gotten
Well,
out to any.
Well, we know there are fans out there.
Yeah.
We know because you guys listen to the show. You guys watch the shows. We're glad we can have that opportunity to maybe steer you in the right direction of some quality wrestling. Myself, I've gone to at least a dozen wrestling cards this year, locally, see indie matches and met some great guys and seen some great matches. The Frankie Kazarian interview we had a couple weeks ago, that was meeting him at a show. And that was great. And all I say is support local indie wrestling, support indie wrestling as a whole. Go out, watch the shows. Go out and watch the shows we talk about.
Trust me, it's a lot better than WWE.
Oh yeah, and at least when they do a crappy story, they have an excuse because they're a small time league.
Yeah.
I don't know what WWE's excuse is since these guys are paid big money to do this stuff, but I'm never going to make fun of the wrestlers. The wrestling quality is always great in the WWE, but they only let them do so much.
Yep.
You look at Shinsuke Nakamura. There's a guy who, one of the best indie wrestlers for so long.
He's been at Wrestle Kingdom.
He's been many Wrestle Kingdoms. And here's a guy who should be one of the best wrestlers in the world, being showcased of what he is. And what has he done? Just disappointing runs in the WWE. Treated as a cartoon character.
Yep.
So, folks, go out there, support indie wrestling. Elio, I want you to have a good, happy New Year, my friend.
Thank you.
I don't want you to drink too much. You drink some, but don't drink too much.
Okay.
And we got Wrestle Kingdom coming up. At least that's a great way to start the new year.
Yes.
Fans, we love the fact that you've given us a chance to come into your homes and talk wrestling with you. By all means, send us in emails. Tell us if there's something you want us to talk about. Maybe there's some wrestlers you've seen that we haven't talked about. Send those things in. We'll take a look. We're always willing to support the best in indie wrestling, and the only way we're only two guys. We watch as much as we can, but there's going to be stuff that's going to slip through the fingers. So if you know what's there, you show us. Fans, have yourself a great new year. Elio, anything you want to throw out there?
No, just enjoy your holidays. We'll talk to all you fans in the new year.
Okay, and Eli Drake, Elio, you can find him on Facebook. You want to be a friend, you can add a note to your name.
Elio Drake.
Elio Drake. Who knows? Anyways, fans, thanks for joining us on Wrestling Global POV. I always mess it up in the end because it's always fun to talk wrestling. But okay, sorry. Have a great night. We'll see you next time on Wrestling POV Global. I'm your host, TJ Logan, and with me, my host of the most,
Elio Canella.
Elio Canella. Have a great night, guys.